All right. Good evening. Welcome to Thought for Thursday, which is a segment of Leveling Up the Podcast. It's the segment that we bring to you on Thursday evenings. It's a 15-minute long segment where we give you 5 tips for leveling up. And they always revolve around a discussion, a question that I usually put out in the form of a text during the day or in the form of a post. And today, the question is, why is it that we're afraid of revealing who we are? My quote talked about how people fear reinvention because frequently they fear the unknown. But what underlies a lot of that is the fact that they fear showing their true selves. Why is it that we fear authenticity? Why is it that we are afraid to reveal to others exactly who we are, knowing somewhere deep down inside that who we are truly reflects the essence of our purpose and our passions? Why are we so reluctant to reveal that? Understanding that will truly lead to and help in understanding why it is that many of us fear reinvention, why it sounds like such a huge undertaking. Yeah, the uncertainty is a big part of it, but a lot of it really deals with how if people don't understand who we are in our authenticity, how if they don't get who we really are. So, why is it, again, that we sheer away from this? Why is it that we fear truly showing who we are? Well, we're going to talk about that tonight. And I invite you to head over to the blog tomorrow where I'll give even a deeper discussion into it and give a lot of narrative around ways in which you can come out of the 5 things that I'm going to tell you tonight that really do undergird the reason as to why we fear, why we don't show ourselves, why we don't embrace sometimes who we authentically are, and how that leads to us really fearing and shying away from the whole topic of reinvention. So, why is it? Let's look at the first thing that I know. I know that we truly do fear rejection. That's a huge piece of why we don't authentically show up or reveal who we really are. We hide behind what we hope that people or what we think that people expect us to say or how they expect us to look, what they expect us to do. One of our biggest fears. We face judgment. We don't want to be judged in any way. We worry about what others will think of us. And if we show who we truly are, will they still love us? Will they respect us? Will they want to work with us? Will they want to be around us? And this fear doesn't always develop in adulthood. We can trace it back to childhood, even childhood fears, things that happened in your childhood, things that happened, as you were getting to where you are right now that really did help to instill in you a fear of being judged and feeling that if you are judged, of course, then you're not going to be liked. Nobody's going to want to deal with the true person that you truly are. So, what is the solution for dealing with that? You have to move past it. And I know that sounds so easy, a lot easier said than done, right? However, you have to be reminded that your opinion, and I talked about this maybe 1 or 2 Thought for Thursdays ago, your opinion is truly the only opinion that matters. And others really don't define your worth. So they are not in a position, or they should not be in any position of authority where they can determine who you are, what you should look like, how you should sound, who you should be. So, what's another reason why we shun away from showing our true authenticity? Well, it's a vulnerable place to be, isn't it? We truly, truly do fear being vulnerable, being in a place where somebody could hurt us, somebody could say something that would offend us. Being authentic means that you put yourself out there for any and everyone to see. And yeah, people are going to have opinions as to what they think of the true you, right? But we just talked about the fact that those opinions don't matter, and yours is the majority opinion, is the primary, is the only opinion that really counts. So it's okay. It's all right to be vulnerable, but you have to be strong in believing who you are and own that, so that you understand that even if people don't like who you are or don't like who they see, it's okay, because you get your comfort, your joy in knowing that you are being authentically yourself, and knowing that authenticity is what's going to give you that life that you desire, and the life where you truly do thrive. Now, yeah, vulnerability can be a real scary place to be, because it again, we're exposed, and in many respects we feel unprotected. But again, the solution for that, owning who you are, enjoying who you are, recognizing that who you are is important and it's you. And for that reason, you need to embrace it. All right. So accept it. Understand that being vulnerable is a part of being authentic, and understanding that even that vulnerability is worth overcoming, particularly if you're talking about a situation where you're reinventing and you want to get to the best life that you can possibly have. What's another reason? We fear failure. Oh my goodness. We put ourselves out there. They see us for who we really are. We have let our guard down. They know what we truly think. They know what we love. They know what we want to do. And how if it really does lead to us failing in some way or another? We think that if we reveal our true selves and we fail, we will be seen as not being good enough. How many times have we heard that or seen that, or heard all of the narrative around women in particular being felt that they're put in a place where they're not good enough, not good enough for a job, not good enough for a relationship, not good enough to pursue something. Yeah, that is a true and real fear. How if we fail? And what we need to embrace, one way of getting around that, is understanding that failure is not, although it may make us feel bad, it may put us in a bad situation, but it is not always bad for us. We grow from failure. We find out what it is that we really like versus what it is that we may not like. Find out where it is that we should go versus where we shouldn't go, what we should pursue versus what we should not pursue. So, failure leads us in many instances to triumph, because failure helps to pave that road of signs, where to stop, where to go, where to proceed, where to halt, where to go full throttle out in pursuing what it is that we want. And if we fail, guess what? The opportunity is always there to do something again and to be better the second time around. Yeah, failure can be a part and truly is at the root of why we don't want to show our authentic selves. So we've talked about three things. We don't want to show who we are because we fear being judged. That's a big part of it, right? What's another piece of it? We talked about that also. We talked about that fear of vulnerability, fear of being vulnerable, people seeing us truly for who we are and maybe not liking who we are. What else? We fear that failure. How if we go out being authentically ourselves and we fail? And we've talked briefly about ways around dealing with all of that. And the main point that you need to embrace is you are who you are. Love yourself for who you are. Know that you are enough. Recognize that everybody is not going to like what you pursue, what you say, how you look, how you feel. But that's okay if you embrace all of that because you are being authentically you. What's another part of the reason? What's another underlying reason for us not really wanting to show up in our true authenticity? Fear of change. We get really comfortable where we are. For many of us, we've been doing the same things the same way forever. And it's a safe place. Being comfortable is safe, always will be a safe place to be. You don't have to worry about being exposed often when you're comfortable. You're not always putting yourself in a vulnerable position when you're comfortable. Obviously, you're not putting yourself in a vulnerable position because there's nothing comfortable about being vulnerable, right? So we fear what is going to happen if we come out of that zone that we know and we're comfortable with and we enjoy and we've been successful in being this way and we've really kind of gotten used to and gotten others used to us hiding behind something or someone or saying something or doing something, and we've gotten by and people have accepted that, but it's really not us. It's really not who we are. It's really not our authentic self. And how if we change all that after all this time and people don't like it? What do we do if change doesn't work the way we want it to work? It means often changing our lives in one way or another. And yeah, that's real daunting, even just the thought of it. So, to tackle that, to tackle the fear of change, take small steps. It doesn't mean that in being authentically you, you have to embrace so many pieces of the puzzle all at once. Take it in small bites so that it's not so scary. You don't shun from it. Because what happens if you go full throttle sometimes in doing things and change doesn't come so easily, then you start backing away when change doesn't look identically the way you want it to look. And so you backpedal. And that whole thought of being authentically yourself really starts to go in reverse. And that thrive to be authentic starts to dwindle. And as it dwindles, it also starts to eat away at any thoughts of you reinventing in order to get to where you really want to be. So take it in small bites. Realize that perhaps it's going to take a little longer than you really anticipated to go out there and to show all of your true authenticity. I'm not saying not be you in the process because you always want to be truly who you are, but realize that sometimes in truly embracing it and doing what you want to do authentically, it takes time. All right, so we said fear of rejection is one reason. We said vulnerability. No one wants to be put in a vulnerable spot. How if we fail? How if we go out there being authentically ourselves and we fall flat on our faces? How if we fear, how if change doesn't do for us what we hope that it's going to do? Change is a scary place, particularly when we're in our comfort zones and we've been there forever. There's one more thing that I know is a huge part or a huge piece of why we don't go out and be authentically ourselves: fear of losing relationships. Yeah, that's a big one as well. Some of us have been hiding and being someone else for so long, and that's who people know. Well, how if they see us and they no longer want to be in a relationship with us? Family may walk away, or friends may walk away, co-workers. How if they look at us and don't really appreciate us for who we are? How do we work around that? You have to have honest and open conversations. Let them know, even if you feel inclined to say so. Well, for so long I've kind of hidden behind this, or I've done this, or I haven't done this. And now I want to show who I truly am because I really want to live a life where I'm thriving. And if the relationship is of any value to those that you're concerned about, then they will embrace it. They will embrace you for who you truly are. So, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and take the plunge. Be authentically yourself. Be authentically yourself so that you can reinvent and have that life that you want, that life that you've dreamt of pursuing, that life that you see yourself having, that you visualized for quite some time, knowing that you can get there if you make changes. And one of the biggest ones is making sure that you're embracing your authenticity so that you are authentically who you are. All right. That you show authentically who you are so that you can be and receive what you deserve to have. All right. That's it. 5 tips. Go ahead and make sure that you look at the blog tomorrow for further explanation of what we've gone over tonight. Remember that it is imperative that you be authentic because your authenticity is needed, not just in one area, but in every area of your life. Be authentically yourself. Go out and touch something. Your imprint is unique. Make a difference in the lives of people around you. Your authenticity, your uniqueness, your thumbprint, the purpose for which you are here needs to be fulfilled. Go out and make a difference in the world. Make sure to come right back here next week where we'll go into another session of Thought for Thursday, bringing you 5 tips around topics that will help you to level up and to pursue life in its entirety and to pursue a full and thriving life. Thanks so much for listening.